is edifying. As you can see, the title of this lesson is "In the World, but Not of the World." And now this is a common saying that so-called Christians like to use. All right, but it is a concept that applies to those believers of the faith. Okay, we are to be in the world, but not of the world. And what does this mean? Well, we have to exist in this world. We have to maintain certain things. Okay, you have duties, responsibilities. You have hobbies, pastimes. All these things will put you typically in contact with individuals that are in the world and that are of the world, right? You are going to deal with people that are conformed to worldly societal standards. You're going to be around people that do things without blinking, without thinking, that are against the Bible. Okay, that believe in concepts that are completely normal to people who have been westernized, have a westernized mindset. Okay, but that are foreign or that are contrary to biblical principles and standards. Okay, for the most part, right? And things such as eating pork. There's nothing for an individual that you may come into contact with to pick up a piece of ham sandwich, whatever it is, and oh, I'm gonna eat this. Breakfast or what you want, bacon or sausage. And now for a believer, that's out of the question. You're looking for a vegan option. You're looking for something without the pork. You maybe a turkey sausage, a chicken sausage. If you are doing a breakfast option, right? And there are many other things too. Here, particularly in Babylon the Great, there's a queen of heaven spirit. There's this woman worship spirit here where men bow down, as the scriptures tell us in the Apocrypha, maybe in Ecclesiasticus. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it says many have gone out of their wits for women, and you can see that. You can see men who completely simp themselves out and become servitude to women. Okay, well that's not a biblical principle. Okay, and according to the Bible, a woman is a helpmeet. A woman is meant to help her husband, not a man going around and simping himself out, for every beck and call for the woman. That's not the scriptures say many have gone out of their wits for women and have become servants for their sakes. You see, that's not biblical, man. Now, don't get me wrong, you're gonna care for your wife, you're gonna take care of her. There's certain things that are gonna be, time's gonna be sacrificed. Of course, there's gonna be a monetary sacrifice, right? And things like that. But you know, this is one of the challenges that men of the Lord face. Is because your woman's going to be around these worldly people who are going to look at things from a certain standpoint, do things a certain way, and that's the norm here for a woman to say, "Oh, I need this," and the man say, "Oh, yes, baby." No matter what he's got going on, he drops everything and rushes to her side. Okay, well, that ain't necessarily always going to be the case with a man of the Lord. A man of the Lord is going to have certain things that he's doing and prioritizing because he has a foresight, he has a future sight of what's happening, what's to come, and the Lord's directing his steps in a certain direction where he's not going to drop what he's doing all the time to come see what you got going on, right? So in particular, if you're a woman, okay, that's experiencing this, and you got friends that's in the world, and they tell you, well, my relationship's this way, and my relationship's that way. You might feel the need to tell them about your relationship. They're gonna look at you stupid. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna look at you stupid. They're gonna tell you, girl, that ain't how my relationship is. Da 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 da. You can't allow that to warp your mind and conform you and to have these expectations if you have a godly man who's following the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because you might get disappointed thinking, well, Shaniqua over here, husband, he drop and give it 50. He drop and give me 50 every time she say, I need this and come here. Right? Well, that's them. Do these people believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Do they follow the scriptures? Are they living according to biblical principles? Or are they conformed to this world? Okay, you cannot allow worldly examples of things to cloud your judgment and understanding of what a biblical situation might look like, especially according in these times what the scriptures say, let them that have a wife be as though they have not. Okay, we're not in the time of cater me, cater to you, baby. No, we're not in that time, right? We're in the time of you got to get in line with what's going on at the time. If the Lord put the spirit on your husband to say we getting the fuck out of here, and you trying to grab your makeup and you might get fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Like we can't do that. You got to be like, okay, let's go, right? Let's go do what the Lord put it on your spirit to do. Okay, and if there's something the Lord's putting on your spirit, you got to find a way to communicate that's not a worldly way of communicating with your husband, right? You got to find a way to talk to this man. So, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. A man of the Lord is not gonna be geared up to follow after the woman. If it kind of puts you in a hard situation if you're a woman, because this world teaches you to, force your will or to do these different things. You got to find a respectful way to let your husband know what's going on. All right, because he might get focused or laser focused on what he's doing, and now you might feel like, oh, he's not listening. But is he not listening because he's disregarding you, or is he not listening because he's doing something that he feels is important or that the Lord put on his spirit to do? You get now. I mean, there's a lot of situations because like Nabal, right? Nabal was just being a nigga. That was life or death, and Nabal didn't. He didn't get the memo. But that ain't always the case. All right. Sometimes the case is that this man's doing something that he deems as important. You might feel like what you got going on is important. But now, as the woman in order, as the weaker vessel, as the one who's supposed to give reverence unto your husband, you got to find a respectful way to say what you need to say to your husband. You see? So this is just one of the examples of, how you got to be in the world, but not conform to the world. Okay? You're gonna see things around you, and you're gonna have an expectation. You're gonna say, "Well, they do it." You can't use those comparisons. That's a worldly comparison, right? You can't do that. You got to understand that you have certain rules and guidelines the Lord gave you, and how can you work with that in your situation? All right, because chasing after the things of this world and how they do things in the world is going to cause problems in the godly relationship. It's going to cause problems in a relationship according to true biblical standards. Okay, where a man is a man, and the scriptures say, "Give not thy strength unto women," right? Nor thy ways unto that which destroyeth kings. The scriptures also tell us as husbands to have the preeminence, all right, which means that we have the mastery over. And it says that let nobody have preeminence over you as long as you live. Not your wife, not your siblings, not your children. Nobody's supposed to be able to come to you and just snatch you up and say, "Daddy, we're going to do this." No, they got to come to you and negotiate with you and talk to you. This is what the Bible tells us to do as men. Look that word up in the Bible. Preeminence. It tells you, let not anyone have preeminence over you. I'm not supposed to be servituded out to my wife, my children, nobody. Nobody's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be at anybody's beck and call. Okay, it doesn't work like that. But that don't mean I ain't gonna listen and help. You see what I'm saying? But this is just something that people that don't have an understanding of in this society, and this is where you got to understand, like, you know, a man of the Lord, that's truly coming back into his masculinity is gonna be a certain way. He ain't gonna be like these dudes out here in the world. Half of these people is fucking medicated, high as fuck on weed and shit, you know, simped out, individuals, man, is gonna catch a missile. All right. Jake be having testosterone on them. Jake don't we don't do, you know, hey, and me in particular, I try not to use alcohol for everything I deal with. So, I be sober. So I be having like, You know what I'm saying? I be having to try to cope with certain shit and deal with certain shit. And that's where the Bible's supposed to come in, right? To help us cope. We use the stones and shit, you know what I'm saying, to help keep us copacetic. But we have moments, hey, our brothers have moments, where you amped up, man, right? And it's the woman's job to understand and be respectful when your man's having them moments as well, man. You gotta, it's a lot to it, man. It's a lot to it, you know. But anyway, I just want to do that lesson, be in the world, but be not conformed to the world. I'm always reminded of that dream brother had in Dallas. I think it's called Lions in Rome. That woman, man, that woman was so desirous of the power that she had in Babylon that when the decay of Babylon came, she couldn't let go of them fake nails. She couldn't let go of that weave. She couldn't let go. Honestly, I think it's symbolic. She couldn't let go of the worship and the deification that the woman gets here. The woman gets worship and deification in this place, man. All right? That's not how it's supposed to be, man. A woman's not deified, meaning put on a pedestal and treated as a goddess. We get taught that shit when we're younger that we gotta, we put that woman first. No, man, that's no, bro. We gotta put Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah first, and really we gotta put ourselves second, okay? Because you can't love nobody. What do they tell you? You can't love nobody else till you love yourself, right? So anyway, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah by Shem Kakadash. Just a little quick rant, spiritual rant through the spirit. Lord willing, it was edifying. Next time, I say shalom.